All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for some real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, before I get going here, Bad Sister, baby, where will you go? All right, that's the name of the album, band from Germany. This is a cross between Starship and Whitesnake. All right, that's what I'm going with. Starship meets Whitesnake. Female lead singer, and she's fantastic and really high production value. There's a back cover, courtesy of our friends over at Pride and Joy Music. As I begin to explore some other record labels, you can't just stick to one label. Anyway, good music for old folks who like melodic rock. That's what I have come to conclude here. Speaking of old folks, Graham Nash is out there talking fondly about David Crosby. The Cross. Holy crap, Batman. What happened here? Oh, David Crosby passed away recently. So now, see, this boggles my mind a little bit that these guys really weren't on speaking terms. They just weren't, because of what David Crosby said about Neil Young's wife, and didn't take it back, didn't apologize. One thing, even if you didn't like David Crosby's politics or his music, I admired the fact that he didn't have a filter. I really miss all of those old school characters that I grew up with who didn't have filters, who said what they were thinking, and they said it out loud. There's this really popular expression now, he said the quiet part out loud. David Crosby always said the quiet part out loud. Anyway, Graham Nash is once again looking fondly on his musical partnership with the late David Crosby, who passed away earlier this month at the age of 81. Nash shared a classic photo of him and Crosby recording in the studio, writing, "I've been hesitant to share photos of us in the past, but now that Dave is dead," no, that Dave is dead part I added there. Anyway, people leave such nasty comments sometimes that belittle the complexities of a long-term friendship and musical partnership. Nasty comments. You mean like David Crosby said about, take it back what you said about Neil Young's wife. Nope, I'm not going to do it, says David Crosby, who is now laughing in his grave, or wherever Dave is looking down or up upon us. Sorry. He adds, but here is a photo of David and I recording in 1971. There was real magic between us. That much I know. And there, Crosby, Stills, and Nash singing partner Stephen Stills, who apparently was talking with David Crosby prior to his passing. Stephen Stills agrees, commenting on the photo, magic indeed. Nash responded, "You're such a big part of that magic, Stephen." So when are they going out to do the tribute to David Crosby concert? I mean, it should be what? Stills, Nash, Stills, and Young, or Young, Nash, and Stills, or Still, Young, and Nash? I mean, I don't know. Nash paid tribute to Crosby several times since his bandmate's death, previously sharing he was grateful to have sung with him, played with him, butted heads with him, and for going through so much together, adding, "It's his beautiful music, not his personality." It's his beautiful music that will live forever in our hearts. I'm just lucky to have known him, even though I was really ticked off at him for a number of years prior to his passing. Folks, this is life. This is life 101. I guess it's funnier because these guys are very cartoonish to me now. Stephen Stills, they're great musicians. Don't get me wrong. but the personalities and all of the weird things that have happened over the years, and really, if you follow these guys for, I don't know, the last, 50 years, you're going to find that there's volumes of books that you could write about their interactions, about the music, about specific concert events, and just it's a great history. It really is. But the fact that people were really pissed off at David Crosby prior to his passing, and now Graham Nash, who had really just dug in and said, nope, I'm not making up with David. And then here we are. He's made up with David. Hey, Graham, buddy, it's a little late. It's a little too late. I mean, if you're not going to accept David Crosby as he was, again, with no filter, and you never knew what a David Crosby would say next, if you weren't going to accept him after you had accepted him for years over that issue, then, was it a friendship? Maybe. I mean, people always have regrets after that person is gone from planet Earth. But in this case, they really should have reconciled prior. I mean, I'm going to say that about pretty much every relationship where you're like, okay, time for CCR, for instance, to bury the hatchet. They worked out all the financing apparently. So it might be time now for those guys to kind of reconcile. And that's one that's on the top of my head. There are other ones, though. Dennis DeYoung and Tommy Shaw and JY from Styx. Guys, that one is just a little bit mind-boggling. And most of them are. Most of them come down to personalities. Sometimes it comes down to money. Jonathan Cain and Neil Sean. Haven't talked about them in like a day or two, so I got to throw them in the mix. But anyway, folks, interesting how revisionism happens when somebody dies. And yeah, absolutely. The music that these guys made, totally magical music for sure. All right, on my way out, one more time. This is kind of like Starship meets Whitesnake. Bad Sister, great apocalyptic album cover photo. Where will you go? Russia is getting really ticked off, and then we're going to have war in China, Taiwan and China, because you know what? We just can't, mind our own business and do our own thing and just build a really great country, a really great economy. Nope. We've got to go around the world and cause chaos. And in the old days, folks, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, they were kind of anti-war. Throw Neil Young in there too. They were kind of anti-war. Graham Nash should remember those old times and think, hey, remember when we were anti-war and anti-establishment? Yeah, those were good times. Not all of it, but at least, I agreed with them on all this Military Madness song title, which continues to this day. All right, people, thanks for watching. I'm Dave. I'll see you soon.